I come to you today to alleviate the physical pain I feel every time I witness someone play Deadlock. The pain itself radiates from my skull and into my inner being. Examples of such causes can be listed as follows. But before I get onto that, you probably want to know why I'm qualified to sit here and talk about Deadlock. First off, I have a functioning brain. Second off, I've played a shit ton of Deadlock over the past year in my journey to become Radiant with Deadlock only. In this time, I've realised that Deadlock is seriously underrated and that the majority of people who shit-talk her go off of launch stats and not the current ones. For example, the GravNet is probably one of the best utility pieces in the game as it sits. People really do sleep on the ability to permanently keep someone locked in place until they take the time to remove. To add in, my peak is Immortal 3, if that makes your brain juice appreciate my words more. Any case, back to the point. 1. Using Deadlock trips to watch flank. For one moment, think with me. How do Deadlock trips trigger? Sound. What causes sound? Running, shooting, jumping, etc., etc. Now, tell me, what sort of sound does a fucking lurker make? Nothing. That's the right answer. Absolutely fucking nothing. So, tell me, why in God's green earth would any self-respecting human throw them on the flank when they don't even react to a fucking flanker in the first place? It hurts me, man. Physically hurts me. 2. Not using the wall correctly. What do I mean by this, you may ask? I'll tell you. Deadlock's wall has a shit ton of multi-use purpose, more so than throwing it on a fucking flank, or just holding onto it for that perfect moment. For example, let's say you're pushing up on a site of sunset. The upper part of mid is going to have hordes of people attempting to flood site while you push, or use it to shoot your team. Typically, a smoke person will smoke it off. This is where the wall is perfect. By throwing it in the air from main and landing it perfectly in the centre while smoked, you've essentially cut off one of their main rotation points, giving you plenty of time to get into sight and cut off anyone who was dumb enough to hold. There's so many uses for her wall, and I mean this, you're stupid as hell if you're just throwing it on the flank. 3. Not understanding what makes Deadlock good. Deadlock has been horribly rated for months now, sure, but what exactly is making her come back in the meta? She's found a niche, and that niche is post-plant. The only sentinel in the game that can possess extreme value on both CT side and T side. There is not another person in the game that is nearly as good as post-plant as she is. With the trips now being instant, setting them up for when the enemy is attempting a retake nets you at least 2 kills if you're intelligent about it. The wall itself stalls a hell of a lot longer than a Sage wall too. The GravNet is a literal stall grenade, and if all else fails, the ultimate guarantees you a win if it's a 1v1 or even a 1v2. If you're using trips for flank or any other dumb shit, you're throwing and you should go play Reyna or something, because this agent requires at least 3 brain cells, and you possess 2. I plan on linking this video to any terrible Deadlockers I witness, and I hope you do the same. This is not a hard agent by any means, and with just the tiniest fucking amount of common sense, you too can play a C to B tier character with a strong niche.